Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and a Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Jayden Ginsweider. Joining me here at Sound Peak Audio Design and Development in Topeka, Kansas, is Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
I'm all right.
We're also joined by Jolka this week. Welcome back.
Hey.
So, Shane, this week for our Collar and Elbow, you and I went to Journey to Anarchy. It was the sort of debut of St. Louis Anarchy in Kansas City. It was an indie show at Guitars and Cadillacs, a country bar. So I wanted to ask you a few of our categories that we normally do on the classic review show for the show we went to. So for you, let's start with best moment. What was the best moment of the show?
I'm going to say that it's in the Gary Jake Parnell match.
Yes, Jake Parnell, formerly known as Warhorse.
Why I'm wearing a shirt.
Nobody can see that, but okay.
Well, they can, you know. I'm going to say it's going to be the chair spot when Gary took like 6 chairs in the ring, set them up like with the bend or the power bomb, Jake Parnell, not being able to, and then being power bombed from the ring onto the chairs.
We didn't really have a great view of that.
I knew it happened, so I thought it was cool.
My best moment is from that same match. It was the skewer spot.
Oh,
when Jake Parnell's boy brought in the skewers.
For the listeners, this is on IWTV if you want to watch it. But in that Parnell match, his, for lack of better words, little twink comes out and has something in his pocket, and we're at an angle, we're like 90 degrees from the ring. We're perpendicular to it.
Yeah,
and we can see that the guy's pocket is skewers. And every single time we say that, he goes to hide it.
Yeah, he like pulls his shirt over his pocket, trying to hide the skewers. Like, dude, we saw him.
The people next to us realize what's going on,
yeah.
So they start doing it too.
Yeah, one of the guys kept calling him Spaghetti Pocket.
We call him little skewer pocket over here. So
yeah,
the names people come up with.
Yeah, who was MVP of the night for you? Well, I guess match of the night and MVP of the night. Let's do them together.
So match of the night, I'm gonna go with. I think I liked Parnell J more, but in terms of in ring, definitely Kenny Alfonso Suave.
It was.
What am I saying? No, I like Suave and Alfonso more. It's in my top 3 of the week.
Kenny Alfonso versus De La Suede. I'm blanking on his first name.
I think it's Raheem De La Suede.
Raheem De La Suede. Yes, it was Kenny Alfonso versus Raheem De La Suede. That was definitely match of the night. My MVP of the night, I think, is going to go to Camaro Jackson because the dude was a beast.
I have 2, I guess, in the same match actually. Camaro Jackson, total beast. Recently won the NWA World Wrestling League title, which is Harley Race's promotion.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the NWA is trying to sort of revive the territory system by teaming up with a bunch of other smaller indies around the United States.
They have one in Chicago. They have, obviously. Actually, that one I think is owned by Corgan himself. They have one in the Southeast called JCP. And then now they have this one in the Midwest.
World Wrestling League. Yeah, where's that based out of?
Central Missouri.
Okay. So, yeah, Camaro Jackson, though, he was a beast. Who was your
total
other?
Beast. And then I really enjoyed the character of the Luminary.
Oh, the Luminary was so weird and awesome.
They're kind of Al Snow, like the flower beret.
Yeah, so like the way that Al Snow would talk to the styrofoam head, they had like a wreath of flowers. And they were talking to the wreath of flowers. Like it was a real, like a person. Instead, it had magical powers.
That's
really
hilarious.
Funny. Yeah.
And it was funny is they came as a prop in the match too.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember Al Snow doing much ever in WWE.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. Surprise of the show for you?
So I'm gonna go with the fan reaction of Thomas Shire. I booed him because he was not Manders. And I think my booing, along with your booing, because I was booing, got everybody else to boo. Because Thomas Shire and Manders are tag team in WXW and DPW. And so they're like buddies, kind of, sort of. So to see Thomas Shire get booed like this was kind of surprising to me.
For me, the surprise of the show was the Jeremy Wyatt potential
Oh,
babyface turn.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Jeremy Wyatt, kind of known in the Kansas City area as like Kansas City's top heel, made sort of a babyface turn. He kind of saved Gary J.
It was weird because it wasn't like a total babyface turn. 'Cause the entire time I thought, oh, he's gonna turn around and hit him,
But he didn't.
He didn't.
So I don't know. Interesting. So to put some of these people we've talked about in perspective, I think we aren't going to recast the way we normally do, but we're kind of going to come up with player comps, right?
Okay.
The way that like when a player's coming out of the draft, they'll compare him to the current NBA players or NFL players, whatever, right? So some of the names that I want to talk about. Let me pull up the. Let me see if I can find the list here. I have a list of all the matches, so I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Okay, here we go. Starting with, for people who don't know who One Called Manders is, what would be who One Called Manders is? What would be a good comp for him? Like a Stan Hansen?
Stan Hansen, Funk. I'm gonna say more Dory Funk than Terry Funk.
Mm-hmm.
Just that Midwestern Great Plains cowboy type guy.
Mm-hmm. What about Camaro Jackson?
This one's tough because
You know what? I kind of thought he, in presentation, like or not presentation, but like in like presence and kind of charisma, he kind of has some Gunther to him.
yeah, the cape and like
Yeah, and just kind of the way he goes
coming
about.
out.
Yeah, a little more athletic than you expect
As
him to be, but doesn't always
dominant.
use it.
Looking as dominant as Gunther would, I say, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of a big dude too. Yeah. We kind of said the Luminary is kind of an Al Snow, which was fun. Kenny Alfonso,
Young Will Ospreay.
Young Ospreay.
Yeah.
I was thinking kind of like not quite Swerve Strickland, but Isaiah Swerve Scott from when he was in NXT.
Yeah, so like I think in like out of all the guys we've seen, 3 of them have a pretty good shot at like TV weekly. Kenny's one of them, easily.
Yeah. What about Raheem De La Suede?
It's a good one. I really didn't think of anything. It's just
What about Rich Swann, pre like major injuries?
I can see that. I think in terms of character,
He's definitely got a similar character to Swann's
Yeah.
205 Live character, which may be why I kind of
I can see that.
went that way. I don't know. I think probably a pretty good comp. What about from the women's 3-way we saw Charlie Evans?
So this one, I'm gonna go with like, I guess kind of Lita, not like a wrestling way, but like in a willing to get hardcore kind of way.
Mm-hmm. She kind of falls into like the Chris Statlander, I would say, kind of category of women's wrestlers.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of a good comp for how she wrestled.
Yeah.
What about Shaza McKenzie?
This is like one that is one to look really think about.
Both of these women, by the way, I think could make it big. I think Charlie Evans and Shaza McKenzie could make it big.
The only thing that's really stopping him is just being from Australia, which hasn't stopped Rhea Ripley. So
Yep.
I don't know. Shazza is more technical, but also has like some striking moves. So I guess
And she's more kind of bright and poppy and fun, and
I don't know. What do you
it's a hard one. I haven't come up with a great one. I haven't been able to quite nail down. I don't know, maybe she's a new thing. You know what I mean? But like I'm
eventually coming to TV. Fingers crossed. Hopefully.
well. Watch. We'll come up like on the car ride home after this. We will come up with something better. But I can't really.
Probably.
I'm blanking right now on a good one. What about the Lycos Gym? I really love the Lycos Gym. They're going to be on TV someday.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Kid Lycos and Kid Lycos 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They give me some Osprey.
I get like that classic British tag team kind of thing, like British strong style, but faster, I guess.
Kind of like.
Also, incredible heels, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting them to be heels at all, but they were really good at it.
Yeah, it was also kind of crazy that they like came all the way from England to wrestle at this bar in Kansas City.
This country bar in Overland Park, Kansas.
Yeah.
In a strip mall.
Yeah. But Yeah, I think they were really awesome. I do see kind of some young Osprey, especially in Kid Lycos 1, right? He's the unmasked one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid Lycos 2, I'm getting like every young superstar ever because he's like, I think he'd be younger than us.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least me.
Yeah. Let me look him up here. Kid Lycos
But
2.
with him, I see like Tyler Bate, and there's
That's a
like
good
how young he was.
Yeah, he's 22, so he's in between us.
So that like he's literally like in between our ages. He's the Tyler Bate type guy.
Yeah. Let's see. Jeremy Wyatt. What's the comp for Jeremy? Ciampa, I think.
Yeah, I can see Ciampa. He looks like Ciampa as well.
He kind of looks like Ciampa, and he also kind of wrestles similar to Ciampa. So I think that's a good
With
one.
Pile driver as the finisher.
Yeah. Laney Luck.
Another one that's tough with the women's, especially with them.
It's also tough because like women's wrestling started being like respected in the United States like 8 years ago. So
Right.
like, there's not like a lot of history for us to draw off of.
She's not like.
She's pretty good. I
She's
really
pretty
enjoy
good, but
her
she's
match.
not like. Her style isn't like speaking out to me in a way I can compare to a wrestler, kind of like Shaza.
She kind of gives Bailey vibes.
A little bit. Oh, I've seen her work heel.
NXT Bailey.
I've seen her work heel too, so
Yeah.
I think Bailey's that in between her two.
Yeah, Jake Parnell / formerly known as the artist formerly known as Warhorse.
Before when it was Warhorse, it was like
He was just kind of Demolition.
yeah,
And the Road Warriors.
Now
and the Powers, just all those face painted guys all mixed into one, but smaller.
now he's like his whole gimmick is Annihilation. So man, I don't know. I have a name, but I can't remember it fully.
Yeah.
Look at Rick Raven, because you even just said it was Raven Halloween. I like
He has some Raven to him.
nothing cares kind of vibe from Rick Raven. Like the
I like
flock.
that. Yeah, I do like that.
But his presentation is more
More of a body
military.
guy than Raven too, though.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? more of like a
He's got the
athlete.
six pack, and he'll show it.
yeah. What about Gary J?
Gary J's been alive for so long, and they've been doing his own thing for so long that
As someone who
it's
just
very
was just
hard. It's very hard to
introduced
do
to
it.
him,
For you, I can see you doing something else now.
like a Briscoe type.
Yeah.
He's kind of in that Briscoe category.
I mean, his
just
Twitter handle is Stiff Robo Ginger, so
yeah.
I
I
get the
kind of get like
Briscoe
a Mark
vibes, yeah.
Briscoe, more specifically Mark. 'Cause
Kinda-
he seems a
kinda-
little more unhinged.
care of the win, unhinged energy.
Yeah.
I think you'll really see it better in GCW.
Yeah. And then Davey Vega. You want to come on for Davey Vega?
He kind of has an arrogance as a heel that I see like Seth,
I could see that. Yeah.
but I sort of also heard him work face, so I'm gonna say Seth there. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think that's kind of the bigger names that we saw. So that's kind of what we saw. On to the news of the week. Former AEW talent Marco Stunt. He was part of the Jurassic Express with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Announces his retirement from pro wrestling.
I mean, he wasn't really being used that much in anything.
So
recently,
Marco Stunt Apex Mountain. Was it when he returned to challenge Jungle Boy for the TNT title? Probably.
Yeah,
That's probably his biggest moment.
Or like during COVID when nothing else was on and people were talking about his match with Effie for reasons.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, you guys were talking about an indie show that you went to. Can you describe to everyone the difference in feeling of being in a crowd at an indie show compared to being at like a big like AEW or WWE show?
It's more depending on the indie, it could be more intimate. The one that we went to, definitely.
So it's this one just because of like the setting and like the lighting and it's a lot more. How do I put it? Because it's definitely a lot less produced, right? They don't have the money to be as much of a production as those other shows are. It feels obviously sort of similar, I think, to you know, the difference between. It's hard to describe. It's definitely grungier, I think, was kind of part of definitely this show being in like a bar and everything. It just felt like this was like real low, kind of an underground thing.
Right. But the quality of the wrestling.
The quality of the wrestling.
There was, parts
yeah.
where I feel like it was better, but there's also parts where I feel like that it's better than I see on TV.
Yeah, there's. Well, I think a lot of times any wrestling that you're live in the building for is gonna feel better than the random R-Truth match you watch on Raw. No disrespect to R-Truth, but you know what I mean. Just like the random match you see on Raw, right? And obviously, if we were to go back and review the tapes, they're obviously not nearly as good as the people we see on AEW or WWE. That's why those are the people on TV, and these are the people working their way up the system.
Right.
Other indie shows I've been to, like, feel kind of like the difference between like. It's like watching like a high school basketball game versus an NBA game.
Right.
Right.
Where you yell, they're gonna hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
So they did the first time we went to one.
And it's like everyone there is so supportive of what's happening. There's a different energy from the crowd, because if you're a wrestling fan to the point where you're at an indie show like this, you are there to see the growth of, like, you are wanting to propel the growth of the industry, right? This is like you are watching the future, and you are there kind of the way that like a hometown supports their high school team. You know what I mean? Because those are the people you know. So like here versus like at a big AEW or WWE show, you'll have more casual fans, more people that were like, hey, my buddy had an extra ticket. I'm just here to drink a couple beers and have a good time, right? You know what I mean? And I know that they enjoy that just as much as everyone else at that show. But the people here, it feels like there's like a passion from the crowd that's like, this is what we love, this is what you love, and we're like kind of more of a symbiosis, I think, between the crowd and the performers. It's kind of the biggest difference. It's like Shane said, it's much more intimate. Like not just in how close the whole crowd is to the ring, because the whole crowd was. What would you say were there? Like
a good like 253
at this show.
Yeah, maybe now maybe like.
I was gonna say like 100 people.
100, 120, 130, but definitely it was packed when it was.
Yeah, the CSW shows we've gone to maybe have like 200.
Yeah.
300.
Okay. GCW's gonna have around like 4. I think.
Yeah, it feels like you're there. It feels a little bit more special because it feels like that you're really supporting something that you love in a way that's much deeper than just going to Raw.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I think is the biggest difference between an indie show and a major company. But anything else that you have on that, Shane?
No, I think that's
Yeah. On to the news. Back to the news, I guess. In the most on-brand moment of the week, Ruby Soho had her baby on Halloween, which feels very Ruby Soho.
That's the station that is known that now.
Say. So congrats to Ruby and Cool Hand Ange on their first kid. And then we don't normally talk about trademark news. I find it kind of hacky to talk about trademark news all the time. But I do want to point out that Jon Moxley filed a trademark on Death Riders. So that's been the speculated new name of the BCC. And so since him trademarking that makes me think that that's probably what they're going to be called now, is the Death Riders. On to WWE news, something that broke the day after we last recorded, WWE ID. So have you heard about this, Jolka?
No.
So this is WWE Independent Development. It is the kind of inverse of their NIL program that brings all the college athletes in. This is a program that's going to bring in independent wrestlers and kind of make from certain schools, what's the word I'm looking? A pipeline to NXT. So the schools that are involved, Seth Rollins' school in Iowa, Cody's school in Georgia, Booker T's school in Houston. There's a school in New Jersey, I think.
Yeah.
and then a school in LA that I think Rikishi might be involved with. I'd have to look into that, but it's a school in LA. Those are the first 5 schools, and it's not just going to be people from those schools, but those schools are going to be kind of the main feeder schools, and then other wrestlers on the indie scene can kind of, I guess, opt in to WWE independent development, and it kind of gives you a track into NXT, and I guess by proxy maybe TNA and Pro Wrestling Noah, which is over in Japan. So
Man,
it seems like
where was this 20 years ago?
Yeah,
I agree. We should have had a pipeline of Noah 20 years ago.
but it seems like this is just WWE trying to expand their farm system, to say. Because kind of when the whole TNA partnership started, everybody's like, oh, well, this is just setting up Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace to go to NXT. It kind of felt like that NXT was the AAA and TNA had become the AA. Well, now we have our single A, and it's this independent development.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, Shane?
I think a lot of wrestlers are for it. A lot of fans are against it. And I'm cautious.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm in favor of giving Timothy Thatcher more resources to be good.
Yeah, Timothy Thatcher is rumored to be.
I think they should just. I think
indies.
Blake Christian, kind of the guy, could be in this.
Carino's son, Colby
And
Carino,
I
I think.
hope to God that
This whole system seems built around Zilla Fatu.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is the Zilla Fatu thing for getting him ready before he's ready for anything else, because he's not very good. But
The thing is, I think a lot of fans are very cautious about it, like you said, because historically, WWE's involvement with independent wrestling has gone very negatively.
Yes.
Even back to the way that WWE, just erased the territories, the way that WWE, their short-lived partnership with ECW, the way that they handled that, the way that in recent years, the way that when NXT UK launched, that they just kind of stole all of the talent from Progress and ICW and the WXW, just all the European talent they just kind of scooped up and signed, and then just kind of ruined that whole indie scene. So just the way that WWE has handled their partnerships with other companies in the past, especially lower companies, I think has made people cautious about it. So I would say I'm probably cautiously optimistic. I hope that this turns out well, and that this really gives a launching pad to maybe some of those same people we were just talking about. We were just talking about our local guys that we like, our Kenny Alfonsos and Camaro Jacksons and guys like that all over the country. So I don't know your thoughts as a former independent wrestler. What would you think of something like this?
That would be something great to have a pipeline in, because when I was doing it, you didn't have a pipeline in. You just knew the independent companies that you knew, and then you just kept going, and maybe you met
Hope for the
somebody.
best, yeah.
Maybe you met somebody there that helps you get somewhere else. And
Yeah, so this could shed a light on much on talent that deserve to have a light shed on them.
like Daniel Bryan. Or Bryan Danielson, fucking WWE screwed that up for me.
Yeah.
He was on the
Daniel
independent
Bryanson.
scene. I know, Daniel Bryanson. he was like a unicorn, because it's not often someone from the independent scene back then went to WWE or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Him and CM Punk.
Yeah, I was about to bring up CM Punk, but yeah, it was like there was kind of it wasn't until much later that it kind of felt like ROH was like the unofficial feeder into NXT, and then NXT into WWE. But this is a much more official thing. I really like it. I think WWE, while there have been some valid criticisms of the TNA partnership and the kind of talent that they share with TNA versus the kind of talent that TNA shares with them, I think they've handled that very well. I think it was cool the way they've handled the Noah stuff, that they've been letting guys like Shinsuke and AJ go over there and wrestle in Noah, and that they sent The guy they sent for that tournament. What's his
Tavion
name?
Heights.
Tavion Heights from NXT. They sent him over there, and Japan loved him. So he got super over in Japan. And now he's back, and they haven't done much with him, but I think they're still working with him in the PC and
He's
stuff.
probably going to go back over the New Year, probably. I would have him go back over New Year.
So, I don't know. I think that this is kind of a cool system that we're seeing be built. The way that it's kind of weird because we're seeing like two wrestling ecosystems be built. Like on one side we have WWE, TNA, Pro Wrestling Noah, NXT kind of as a subdivision of WWE, and then now these feeder schools, right?
Right.
And on the other side we have AEW, New Japan, CMLL, Rev Pro, ROH kind of in the NXT spot. You know, we're seeing a kind of two different wrestling ecosystems be built. So I think it'll be interesting to see.
Do you see how Triple H is building his, though? He's building it like a big wall against AEW.
Yeah.
That's really what it looks like.
I think signing away some indie guys is going to be a big deal. I think when AEW sees this AED, they're going to maybe not go after a guy.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I mean,
that is true. This could be kind of this WWE ID is kind of a system to like, oh, WWE has called dibs on this guy. They've signed him to a WWE ID contract. So now, like, AEW is not going to try to get Wrestler X. You know what I mean?
Right.
So on to I would say probably the other big news, the second biggest news of this week. There were some departures from WWE. Baron Corbin's contract expired, and they chose not to renew. And then Tegan Knox and Indy Hartwell were released by WWE. So we play this game every time. What would you like to see those guys, these three, do moving forward?
Baron get an indie run. Indy.
Tyrus wants him in the NWA. That would almost make me sadder than WWE not renewing my contract. Would be Tyrus reaching out to ask me to work for the NWA.
I would block that number. So you have to go call my mama. Get away from me. I think Baron. You know, it was joked about by Brett Lauderdale. I think Baron Corbin might do like that. Oh my God, it's Jinder Mahal kind of reveal at like DCW.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be funny.
Yeah, I could see him do like
Florida
what immediately
Cardona.
came to my mind is he seems like a TNA, AAA kind of guy. You know what I mean? I guess AAA also has been kind of rumored to be involved with the WWE side of things too, but they've still been using AEW talent, so I don't know where that's going to go. But I don't see him as an AEW guy. I know that now that we're back into a two major wrestling kind of idea, whenever one leaves, it's like, oh, they're going to the other. But I don't see him as a WWE guy. I think it'd be cool if he did a Japan run. Just show off his stuff, especially in like a Pro Wrestling Noah or an All Japan.
Yeah.
Tegan Knox and Indy Hartwell, I think, are incredible wrestlers. I think they could go to AEW and be just right into the mix, at least for like the mid-card belt, at least for the TBS title. What?
This is about the anyway territory, so you want to keep going.
Okay. I don't know. What would you think of Tegan Knox and Indy Hartwell? I think a Stardom run for either of them would be awesome.
Tegan Knox with the Stardom run. Well,
I think they could both.
this is gonna be my first like Marigold versus Stardom pick.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the roster more in Marigold for Tegan Knox, like a Zilla or like a Hami Hashta or.
Is Sari in Marigold?
Yeah,
Sari.
definitely Sari.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see one of them also being knockouts going to TNA. I think that'd be possible too. What did you? What's the news that you just saw?
So NWA has like revealed their champions around the territories. Do you know Juventud Guerrera is an NWA Crossfire champion?
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, shout outs to Hoovy, the Juice.
The Juice is once again loose.
Yep. Next, we have Goldberg announcing that he will have a retirement match next year.
He's been wanting one for a while.
Mm-hmm. So, first, it seems like Gunther is the obvious opponent, but Shane and I were talking, like, he said his retirement match is going to be next year. He didn't say he was only wrestling one match next year. He could have 2 or 3 matches. And retire.
That's true.
So other than Gunther, who are some other people that you would like to see Goldberg face?
Roman Reigns.
See Goldberg and Roman.
We were talking about Braun.
Yeah, we were talking about Braun Breaker.
Braun easily.
Braun Breaker, yeah, that'd be a good one.
Obafemi.
Yeah, just any big guy. Get him in there with anybody who's big.
Right.
And I think we'll have a good time.
Bonnie Brown, if they can do it.
What are your thoughts on Goldberg overall? Like, what have you thought of his career?
He's good. He had a good career, but he was hard hitting. Like he did a lot of unsafe things to a lot of people.
So you stand with Bret Hart.
I don't like that Bill Goldberg.
It's not that I do not like Bill Goldberg. I acknowledge and see what I see.
Yeah.
And he's
Not the safest.
yeah,
He
he's
wasn't
very
safe, no.
stiff with everybody.
He
Almost killed The Undertaker, for real.
legitimately, if you put like 98 Goldberg in 98 All Japan, because he's like Stan Hansen stiff, he probably get over.
Shane, your overall thoughts on Goldberg and his career?
I'm gonna admit I do like some Goldberg. It's like a guilty pleasure of mine, kind of, sort of. Because I'll yap your ear off about how Kenta Kobashi is the greatest to ever do it. We put a Goldberg match. I'm like, oh my god, hell yeah!
Just a good Goldberg squash.
I mean, I feel bad now because I like Goldberg. I do.
You recognize the flaws.
I recognize the
yeah.
other stuff that happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Also, I like Goldberg. I've enjoyed. Through the WWE Network, I've gone back and enjoyed a lot of his WCW stuff, as well as I really liked his WWE, like his first WWE run. I liked a lot of that stuff with Triple H, and like that Elimination Chamber that he's in is my favorite Elimination Chamber match. Like that's what I like. I think, unfortunately for Goldberg, he arrived at WCW at a time where the booking started to go downhill, and where he was like a lot of the time, like him and Sting and like DDP were like the most important non-NWO guys.
Right.
But you go back and watch that, and you're like, I don't feel like they cared about this guy as much as they cared about the NWO. Talking about like The Office, like the people running the show. He came in at a time where the NWO was kind of the brand.
Remember that the booking team from 96 to 2000 was in the NWO.
Yeah.
So
it just felt like he kind of arrived at the wrong time, and
I don't know. It's still kind of built his legacy because he went 170
something, yeah,
176 and 0, I think.
173 and 0.
But then just the
Shut
way
up, Shane.
Well, no,
No.
it's because we're gonna do like a classic review with series in that 171st match is the bottom of his career.
That was awesome, but it's one of those things that if you end it the wrong way, it takes away a lot of that, and they ended it in the wrong way. Like, in even worse, like, I don't love how the Undertaker WrestleMania streak was ended, but it was a much better ending than what they did to Goldberg. So, that's where I sit with it. Like, the Asuka streak is awesome, and it ended awesome.
No.
Wait, did it end in NXT, or did she relinquish the belt?
She relinquished the belt.
Oh, okay. It ended with Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Yeah, which wasn't the right choice.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I take that back. It didn't end awesome. I thought it ended, in my memory, it ended in NXT, but
No, it didn't.
you know what I mean? I think she. So I don't know.
If she had lost to Ember Moon on her way out, yeah, it'd be perfect. But she lost to Charlotte, and she tapped.
I don't know. Anything else on Goldberg?
It's going to be an interesting review when we do our first kind of review for a period perspective. Goldberg, I think, to be the more interesting one over Cena, but
We'll see. Next is the injuries section of the news. Starting with Angel Garza, had to have surgery on his hand. Doesn't seem too serious. Seems like he should be back fairly soon. Rhea Ripley fractured her orbital bone, so they wrote her off of TV for a while. We'll see how that goes.
Poor Rhea.
Yeah.
2 in a row.
Set up to have like the best year of her career, and just riddled with injuries. Marshall Von Erich suffered a torn pec. So that's
For
Ring of
his
Honor.
family, I'll
signature.
take that.
Yeah, that's much better than what usually happens to a Von Erich. And Vikingo, this is some pretty good news. Vikingo said that the knee injury he got at the TNA tapings didn't cause any major damage, and that he should be back in like 3 weeks. Unfortunately, though, also at those tapings, the Chris Bay injury. So last week when we talked about this, there wasn't much reported on about it. What I had saw said that it was a concussion. It seems like it possibly was a concussion, but it was also definitely a broken neck. So that's what he's been working
And we
with.
don't live in the 90s where Austin will come back after 2 months.
So there's been a lot of support for Chris Bay. It's been awesome. There's a GoFundMe that I'm sure anyone can find easily if you want to donate to help him pay for everything. TNA is doing a charity auction to help him out. Crazy that he signed to, what is TNA, like the third biggest American wrestling company, and they have to do auctions and,
Right, they don't have
and
insurance.
GoFundMes to help pay for
No,
medical.
they have insurance. We'll get to that later. Yeah, it's
Because
weird.
they're owned by Anthem Sports and Entertainment.
So
like they're owned by a major company.
Well, I would call them major, but
Okay, major enough to pay for this.
yeah, I don't know. They could definitely pay for it. Why are you doing a GoFundMe, which is already broken? They hit this goal, but a charity auction.
Yeah.
Do you need to raise that much? Are you auctioning off Monty Brown's next match, or Jeff Jarrett's title wins 3 years of history? Like that would bring enough money.
But yeah. And then El Phantasmo from New Japan Pro Wrestling had a cancerous tumor removed this week. So he's taking a hiatus from New Japan while he recovers. But
They'll probably
everything
come back on January 4th.
Everything is looking good. He should be fine.
I think
So.
January 4th is probably going to come back for him.
Yep.
It's probably.
And then getting into New Japan stuff, this morning was what was the show called?
Power Struggle?
Yes, it was Power Struggle. Zack Sabre Jr. retained the title over Shingo Takagi, and then
Right choice.
Ricochet.
For the heavyweight title, man. The heavyweight title, man. That I think is the more interesting part, is that it's a heavyweight title match. Because when Ricochet was last in New Japan, it would have been a light heavyweight.
Yeah, junior heavyweight title. Yep.
So this is
Two guys who have graduated up,
two guys who have moved up in the card, kind of, sort of.
moved card, and also have both physically gotten larger.
Yes, fair. That's true. But I think their styles are still gonna be like that junior heavyweight matchup where we got a great technician against a high flyer. There's gonna be some 450 splash that's been like.
Do you
Powered
think
to a
this
triangle.
is Wrestle Kingdom proper, or do you think this is Wrestle Dynasty?
This is just a dynasty. I think
Wrestle
it's been
Dynasty.
announced for it because
Okay.
this is AEW versus New Japan.
Yeah. Great choice. Perfect.
Great job.
Kenny Omega says that his return match will be at Wrestle Dynasty, and it seems like he's going to face Gabe Kidd. So I'll let you speak on that first.
No, you don't like Kid all that much. I think that this is an interesting choice because it takes a Bullet Club guy who has been vehemently anti-AW, anti-Elite, anti-Bucks on Twitter, and this turns into hey, this is my opportunity to show that New Japan is the king of sports. That this Bullet Club is better than the old Bullet Club. That I'm the better Bullet Club member than Kenny ever was. So it fits the character.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't like the character because his whole character is just trying way too hard to be cool, and I've never liked that about him. He's good in ring. This will be an awesome match. I just don't like... his Twitter is a big part of it because that's where I see most of it. It's also what I see on New Japan, but his whole thing is just kind of look at how cool I am. I don't like AEW, and I don't like the Young Bucks.
I don't like AEW. Megan Thee Stallion, hit me up.
Yeah.
That's his whole character. So
Couple Wrestle Kingdom matches announced. We're going to have David Finlay versus Yota Tsuji for the global title.
this is... I
Mid-card
like
title.
that match. You know, it's
Tsuji's gonna win.
first title win, probably. It sets up... Naito's going to do something different, probably. So it sets up, again, the future of LIJ.
I like that. And we're going to get Doki versus El Desperado for the junior heavyweight title.
This is where Destiny comes back from his hiatus, wins the belt. Mm-hmm. Everybody's happy again.
Yep. And then at this show this morning, Aaron Hanare and Great O'Khan won the IWGP Tag Team titles. They're an awesome team.
That's a good pick. You know, they're one of the better teams in the New Japan.
Now, time to talk Super Junior Tag League. Did you watch the DKC Ninja matches?
I watched
Ninja
enough of them to know they weren't going to get far.
Yep. What did you think? First, you had the Intergalactic Jet Setters, the current champions.
So they're a good team. They're a great team, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I was expecting a loss. Got the loss. You know, this team is random, but I don't know if it was this match or the next match. But they started to argue with each other backstage. And I'm like, that's not...
A little infighting on the team.
That's not helpful. No. So this was, I guess, disappointing. It wasn't really where I wanted this to go. But, you have to get it sometimes, you know?
All right, and then you had Roppongi Thrice, the team of Rocky Romero and Yo.
I will admit this is one where I was kind of more upset that we lost. But, unless I'm lying, we won.
Mm-hmm. And then Catch 22.
Yeah, that was never going to be a good one. Getting the win over Roppongi Thrice and getting a win over the Australian team, which did pretty good too. They also got 4 points. I think 4 points was less than I was expecting, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for the War Dogs, that was the team that I took, Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors. We had the match with Tigre Suicida, Tiger Mask, and Capitan Suicida. Commentary said Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors were out partying the night before the match. So partying before a league match doesn't make me that happy. Don't love when my guys do that. It felt like they were in control for a lot of the match, and it took way. Or no, sorry, that was different note. I'm looking at the wrong match. This ended up winning the match, but took more punishment than needed. Could really hurt us when we face LIJ, because at the time, I was worried that LIJ was going to be what keeps us out of the finals. Because I felt pretty good about Taguchi and Dragon Dia. I thought we would be able to beat them. I think we got too cocky. We played down to our opponent's level. Just absolutely a team we shouldn't lose to in a must-win situation. Like, if we lost to them, we were out, and we had to beat them, and we lost.
Yeah, you can't sleep on my boy.
Yeah. Or no, it's not that we lost to them, we were out. If we beat them, we were in. If we lost to them, we could still be out, depending on the LIJ match.
You know,
so
it was
yeah.
You can't sleep on Ultimate Dragon's grandson.
Yeah, Ultimate Dragon's grandson, Dragon Dia. And then versus LIJ, Hiromu and Bushi are two really experienced junior heavyweight competitors. It was a match that I knew was going to be hard to win, and they just ultimately took the L. Lost to LIJ. It ended up being the Ichiban Sweet Boys, our rivals, were the team that ended up winning the Super Junior Tag League. So congrats to Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, I guess. Really would like to see the War Dogs win. So we
have the 4-way coming up, so you're fine.
We were 2 for 2 in the G1, and then we were 0 for 2 in Super Junior Tag League. So maybe we're just good with the heavyweights.
Probably.
So we should have
all Japan guys over here, you know.
We should have World Tag. When does World Tag League usually start? Does it start in December usually?
End of the month.
It starts at the end of November?
No, I think so.
So
it gets put together in November.
Yeah, around the same time we'll probably be seeing the C2 and the World Tag League starting. On to Dynamite this week. I really liked Orange Cassidy's promo to start the show. He challenges Moxley to a match at Full Gear. What are your thoughts on this? We finally have our strong babyface for this team.
Yeah, I think it's the right choice for first off. Mm-hmm. I've been building it. But I don't know. Is his gears different? What does that mean? His promo's different. What does that mean?
It's emo Orange Cassidy.
He's Crow Sting.
It's Crow Sting. I look at it more like it gives me more like Batman vibes, but in like a Robert Pattinson Batman kind of way. Because also one of his main points of this was like he's going at this alone because he doesn't want to get. This was before Darby returned. He is on the side with Darby, but he didn't want to get people hurt. He's like, these young guys don't know how dangerous Jon Moxley is. Orange Cassidy has up close and personal, like, what's the word? Experience with how dangerous Jon Moxley is. Moxley was the guy who ended Orange Cassidy's first international title reign at All Out last year. So he knows Moxley. He knows that Moxley's too dangerous for the young guys to really take on their own. The young guys and Jeff Jarrett. And then when Darby Allin returned, it kind of seems like, all right, now I have a partner in this. But it was a very emo Orange Cassidy to open the show. Adam Cole wins his first match in over 400 days. So that big props to Adam Cole. First win of 3. It looks like he's going to have to go through the House of Black.
Probably.
Malachi's next, and then Brody will probably be third.
Probably. From the views of it.
Yeah. What'd you think of Mark Davis's return?
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was
kind of out of nowhere.
No reaction. It was out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it was just.
He got more reaction on Collision because
Yeah.
I think by then everybody remembered who he was.
Yeah.
But Mark Davis, of course, one half of Aussie Open with Kyle Fletcher. He's been out for like almost a year. So a lot has happened with Kyle Fletcher in that year, joining the Don Callis family, shaving his head.
Becoming a creative wrestler.
Yeah, so Mark Davis now doesn't really agree with what Fletcher's been up to. So we'll see how that plays out. And we have new AEW World Tag Team Champions. Speaking of tag teams, Private Party. What did you think of this match? And did you think this was the right decision?
Yeah, I do. It was a decision. I think if the Private Party broke up, there's no face team to really win the title on the FTR. Which would prove the Bucks are booking their division.
Don't get me wrong, the match was awesome. The best part of this was after the match when they went backstage and the Young Bucks were like furiously packing up to leave.
That was good.
And Brandon Cutler was just shredding documents.
That was good. I like that.
I don't know what documents he was shredding or why, but he was just shredding
This was
documents.
a very good. This was a very good. I usually rap on Brandon all the time. This was a really good Brandon episode. This is what I want from him.
Because he also got like nearly murdered by Jon Moxley and Claudio and Pac.
Yeah, but he was the one that they left behind in the rush with said documents. I want him to be the fall guy, not the bad wrestler. You know?
Yeah. So it seems like the Elite are running away. I kind of predicted this. I called them cowards a couple weeks ago. It seems to be that's the play, so that the Elite's kind of out of the picture for this Death Riders story. What do you think of that? Do you think taking them out of the picture is a good idea?
Yeah, I think they'll come back and they'll try to be the heroes, but they're going to get murdered by them.
Yeah, so obviously Jack Perry is still around because he's wrestling Garcia. What does Okada do? Does he run away with the Elite? Does he stay? I mean, he has to defend the Continental Crown at the C2. Like, what's he got to do?
He's going to try some shenanigans in between now and then. Then he'll come back to the Continental Classic and leave.
And then what do you think of Swerve versus Shelton Benjamin?
This is another pretty good match.
This was an awesome match. And I think the biggest story coming out of it, of course, though, is the debut of Bobby Lashley.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Lashley and AEW? The Hurt Syndicate MVP,
This
Shelton
is
Lashley.
going to be much better than the Hurt Syndicate, not Hurt Business in WWE. I think this is going to be better than the Beatdown Clan, TNA. So I think this is going to be the peak of Lashley and Shelton as a team.
In MVP, yeah.
And this might actually be Shelton's like new peak in wrestling.
Yeah,
If he wins some titles, maybe like a TNT title here soon.
I really want Shelton in the C2.
I do too. Yeah, I agree.
On Collision, not much to talk about. Thunder Rosa did like a Dia de los Muertos character that I think would be really cool for her to pull out like a couple times a year. Kind of like a Balor demon or like the Fiend. Like, I think it'd be really cool if that was just like a character that, because she was kind of more aggressive and kind of more demonic, and I think that'd be cool if she had kind of a Mexican demon character.
Yeah.
That she tapped into when she needed it. But the big thing this week, we had a WWE pay-per-view, which of course was Crown Jewel from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia at the Kingdom Arena. Starting off we had Roman Reigns in the Usos versus Solo Sikoa and the Gorillas of Destiny. What did you guys think of this one?
Shocker. The Bloodline match had more Bloodline shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah. Solo pins Roman Reigns. Kind of huge, I guess, in kayfabe, but nobody cares.
Right.
I mean, this is just kind of the problem with the Bloodline. Like, it's just everyone's gotten tired of this story. The cool part of this was when Sami Zayn made the save for Roman and the Usos.
Right, and then he kicked Roman in the face by accident.
Yeah, so that's going to have some trust issues there, obviously, which there already should be. I already thought it was kind of dumb how quickly Jay was ready to trust Roman again.
Right.
And he didn't tag him in at first in this match, so it kind of showed like... But I think that was more of a dominance play. That was more of like, hey, we're equals now. I don't have to tag you in when you ask. I can tag in Jimmy if I want to.
Right.
So that was kind of interesting. But really, for me, this should go to War Games. Roman should pin Solo and be the tribal chief again, and that should be the end of the Bloodline story. The Usos should go do their own thing. Solo should leave forever.
Jacob should just be shouting into the void, I love you, Solo. Where are you, Solo? Come back.
I don't know. I'm just ready for this story to be done. It's been so long. It's been 4 years now with the Bloodline. Like,
It really has been.
like October of 2020 was the Jey Uso Roman Reigns. I think it was October 2020, maybe 2021. But yeah, the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2020. Let's see, Hell in a Cell 2020. So yeah, like 4 years ago when that match happened. So we've been doing this Bloodline story for 4 years, and I'm ready for it to be over. I know it's not going to be over until Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania, I guess. Will probably be the end of it. I don't know. Where would you guys like to see this go? Obviously, we're going to War Games.
I don't know after War Games. War Games should be the end of it, I think.
That's what I think.
Like they say in the ring, I'd like to see this go home. Take it home.
Yeah.
Be done with it. Like,
I think it's going to be done at WrestleMania, so I think we have a good 5 months of this left in front of us. What I think should happen is Roman pins Solo in the War Games match. At Saturday night's main event in December, we have an official match for Rule of the Bloodline. No Bloodline members can interfere. Nothing. Set up some stipulation to make it Roman Solo one-on-one, and Roman just destroys Solo. And that's when Solo calls in The Rock. You know what I mean? That's when Solo brings in the big guns. The Rock takes back over. We build something to WrestleMania, and I think Roman's going to want a match with The Rock, but I think The Rock's going to make him jump through some hoops. I think do something where, like, at either the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber, Roman has to beat Jacob Fatu to get to The Rock. So we get that Roman-Jacob match. We get Roman Rock at Mania. Roman wins, and then we're done with this. Just get it done. The Bloodline should have ended. So Roman's title reign should have ended in 2023 at WrestleMania 39, and then the Bloodline should have ended no more than a year after that at WrestleMania 40. We're already past expiration here. As for this match, I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was solid, but I didn't love it.
we're going out of 10?
Out of 5.
Out of 5? Okay.
Yeah. For the next match was Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defending against Ben of 4, which is Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and then against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, and against Damage Control's Io Sky and Kairi Sane in a 4-way women's tag match. One note on this, I know that it may not be as comfortable for the wrestlers, but the women's wrestlers always have awesome designs for their Saudi attire because they have to cover up more. So because they have more like space of clothing to work with, they always come up with something cool. And I
always liked Rhea's
it's like
simple look there, though.
Rhea's what?
Like simple look there, or just like the black.
Yeah, Well, that's cool. You can do it in different ways, and that is a cool one for Rhea's character specifically.
Tiffany Stratton. We'll get to that later.
That one I didn't like as much, but some of them in this match I thought were really cool. I like it. Like I said, I think they just get more room to work with, and they get it's like the one quirk of the Saudi Arabia shows that I actually like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tiffany's was like a bodysuit though.
They all were like bodysuits, but Tiffany's was like violently yellow. I didn't like it. It was the color choice. I think was the problem there.
I don't know. I love Tiffany Stratton, so I'm just like, oh.
As for this 4-way match, I thought it was a really good 4-way. I thought all the groups did well. I loved Lash Legend throwing Chelsea Green to, I think it was Piper, and like Piper just catching her. I thought that was really fun. Or maybe it was Jade. I don't remember. But it was two people throwing Chelsea Green.
Right.
It was really funny. I gave this 3 1/4. I thought it was a pretty solid match. What do you guys think of the 4-way?
I'm going to give it a 1 because I actually fell asleep right before the end of it for about 15 minutes. Then I woke up when it was done. It was my body naturally telling me. Like,
that you did not like that match.
Yeah.
That was all right.
Yeah. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. This was an awesome match. This was match of the night for me. I really like Seth. And
This should have been on the Saudi shows. It was pretty good.
That I liked all the stomp that he gave him outside on the steps. Then he had a stomp from the top rope to knock him out.
I loved the whole that's all you got after the tsunami and everything. That was really good. Yeah, I really liked Seth's performance here. Really liked that. I think Bronson probably should have won, but it still kind of felt like a star-making performance for Bronson.
Yeah.
You just need Seth to get that win because as great as Bronson is, he's not going to go immediately into the world title picture, and Seth kind of has to.
Right.
So I get it. Then we crowned our first women's crown jewel champion. Oh, I guess star ratings for the Seth Bronson match. I gave it 3 3/4.
I didn't really rate it stars, so.
Oh, yeah.
4.
4. But we crowned our first women's crown jewel champion. Liv Morgan beats Nia Jax, and what was a match that I did not like. I didn't like this match at all. I gave it 1 3/4. I thought it was a bad match. Also, I have a gripe with this whole thing. Every show for a month, they've been shoving these giant crown jewel titles down our throats. Every opportunity they get, they're showing us these title belts. They did that thing where they showed Lin-Manuel Miranda in the crowd, and Corey Graves talked about how Lin-Manuel Miranda's face lit up when he saw the crown jewel title, right? And then it was announced the day before Crown Jewel that actually the winners of these matches aren't going to get those belts. Those belts are going to stay in Saudi Arabia, and the winners get Super Bowl rings that say Crown Jewel champion.
I think the people started to deserve their Magnum TA size belts.
Dude, those belts were huge. The belt was bigger than Liv Morgan.
You know they're going to go home and get a replica made.
Maybe.
Put it on their championship wall.
But
Maybe not Liv. Maybe.
Okay, but then why tell us that though? Why tell us that those titles are going to stay in Saudi Arabia?
Because I don't know.
The whole concept was dumb to begin with, but you made it even dumber by being like, here's this championship. The winner gets this championship. Everything's about these championships. And then the day before, they're like, actually, they're not going to get that championship. They're just going to get a ring. That. I thought that was really dumb. I thought this match was bad. Bunch of stupid interference. Liv and Nia Jax just did not perform well in the ring, which I think is I usually expect from Nia Jax. I thought Liv Morgan didn't do as well as I usually see her do, but maybe it's just because I see her against better opponents. I have a better idea. I have a better internal idea of how good I think Liv Morgan is than maybe she really is, but I don't know. What do you guys think of this one?
I thought this was the weakest of the two.
For me, this was the worst match of the night.
I didn't like it, but
I did not like the match, but I really did like Liv Morgan's outfit. Mm-hmm. That's
that's the one highlight of the Saudi shows is that the women stepped up in their outfits. So
they look so good in their outfits.
I do also think it's really funny that belt is physically larger than Liv Morgan.
It is.
I know
that belt definitely weighs more than Liv Morgan.
Probably does.
It's like a 200-pound belt. She just has a little.
That's disappointing. They don't get to keep them. They should get to keep them.
They're not even going to appear on TV again. It's just going to be the ring, maybe. And then we had the triple threat match between LA Knight, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes, which had the spot of the night. Andrade acting like he's going to do a move to Carmelo in the ring, and then just moonsaulting back to LA Knight without even looking behind him. insane trust between Andrade and LA Knight there. Insane of Andrade to trust LA Knight to be in the right spot. And then also just a perfect move. Just like perfect moonsault. You're expecting him to do like a shooting star or a crossbody frog splash, something to Carmelo who's laying in the ring. And then him just flipping back out of nowhere. Just genuinely shocking. Really loved that. It was a great match. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought maybe it would have been a good time to take the belt off LA Knight, but he's
They're letting Andrade cook, so you never know.
Yeah. What'd you guys think?
I think that was a 4. I love the ending, that blunt force trauma, the way he just hit it inside of Carmelo's move.
Yeah. That was really cool, too. It was an awesome finish. Any notes on that, Shane? And then we get to the men's Crown Jewel title match between Cody and Gunther. Cody wins. I gave this 3.5, but it was a disappointing 3.5 because from these two guys, I expect at least a 4, and it just didn't live up to my expectations.
How good they were in the Rumble together both times. I'd agree.
Yeah, like the last 10 minutes of the 2023 Royal Rumble is a better match than this. I thought the finish was interesting, sort of. I liked how it was like Gunther just kept going for that sleeper, and eventually that's what cost him, was him not changing his game plan, and that could build into a rematch. But what did you guys think of the match overall first?
That was pretty good, but not, like you said, not what it should have been.
Well, it reminded me of Roddy Piper and Bret Hart when Bret Hart was in Piper's sleeper and he pushed off the ropes and did that rollback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the same finish, yeah. Or the same move. My main complaint with this, though, is like Cody Rhodes shouldn't have won.
No, I agree.
Because I don't think Gunther loses anything by losing. I also don't think Cody would have lost anything by losing. I do think that Gunther would have actually gained something by winning versus Cody, who doesn't gain anything by winning. Cody's stock doesn't change whether he wins or loses.
Right.
Gunther's won't go down with a loss, but it could have gone up to Cody's level with a win.
He could have been that mega went from star to mega star.
And it could have set up an insane rematch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could have set up Cody trying to get his lick back. And as we all know, Cody is best when Cody is on the chase, when Cody wants something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, so.
He needs another story.
Exactly.
He has to finish the second story.
Yep. It's like he's building a house. Got to finish the second story.
I have to finish the third story.
When he retires, he's going to be like, the pen's almost out of ink, guys.
Yeah. So, Crown Jewel, overall, if you guys were rating the whole... Oh, we forgot to talk about also the Owens-Orton brawl that was supposed to be matched and it turned out to be matched. What'd you guys think?
Best part of the show.
I'd agree.
I think I would probably... I think I liked Rollins versus Bronson Reed a bit more, but...
No, Rollins was a good
I think
match.
Rollins would be my best part of the show.
Them not having it as a match and just mayhem was better than them having it as a match.
I would agree there.
Like they used a really big event to set that up, so that's going to be that's going to be out of a major
Survivor
pay-per-view.
Series match, yeah. So yeah, if you guys were rating this show out of 10, what do you think you would give it?
A 5.
I was gonna say like a 4.
Yeah, 4. Like
4.
It's
the
the best. It's the best Saudi show, but it's not saying much.
Yeah, I think Saudi takes away from it a bit for me. Yeah, I think definitely about a 4. So yeah, moving on. Tape up the light tubes.
Oh, shit.
Take the door off its hinges. It's time for Shane's GCW corner.
I'll tell you about surprise last. Thank you for the musical introduction, Jolka.
Got it.
Thank you for the musical introduction, Jolka. That was appreciated.
That was definitely on purpose.
Yes, 100% purpose. You know, we put Jayden through the symbol with a brain buster. But so to start off, I'm gonna talk about some show news. GCW once again refuses to run anywhere that is not Kansas City. Mm-hmm. They run everywhere but Kansas City. They're running a show near Paris with Banger Zone Wrestling in January. This is, of course, they've never been to Europe. Going outside of All In Weekend, also kind of surprising too. And of course, there's no events this week, so no new matches to talk about except for one for St. Louis. And then some more Nick Gage news. He was supposed to wrestle at Westside Guns Heels Have Eyes event.
Mm-hmm.
Either he walked out mid-show or was not allowed to wrestle due to TNA insurance or something else. And he was replaced with John Wayne Murdoch. Which is a good replacement, but it's another chapter of this Nick Gage issues that we've had over the past month. Speaking of Heels Have Eyes, actually, you're going to be surprised by this because Violence is Forever surprised the show by giving a impromptu title defense against the new guys.
Oh, hey.
From St. Louis Anarchy.
Who we saw them wrestle on Journey to Anarchy, yeah.
They did not win, but still a big surprise there. So who knows? They could be in St. Louis.
Yeah, we saw them face. Who did they face? Luke Langley and Moonshine Mantell. Yeah, we saw them wrestle this week, so that's cool.
And then one new match announcement for this week. Ciclope is getting his title shot in St. Louis against Vance Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be really violent, that one.
Is that going to be the main event, probably?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then the past week's highlights here. Brooke Havoc took on Viperous in a goofy Halloween match where Viperous was the Undertaker.
Cool.
And Brooke Havoc was Stone Cold.
Nice.
Mosh Savage defeated Zara Zucker in one of the best matches of the week. Mike Bailey defeated Super Crazy in a what the fuck match. And one that you were excited for, Gringo Loco defeated Ares in a really good match in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, yeah. They did a show in Hawaii, which is crazy.
Next events are going to be the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Louisville, St. Louis, then NGI.
Yeah, the Necro Butcher Invitational. But yeah, I'm
noticing a lot of head shakes for Necro Butcher there. I'm noticing a lot more than usual.
You got a Necro Butcher story?
No, I don't.
Damn it, a really good one. So next week, hopefully some more announcements.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, some recap on the NGI.
2 weeks will be a recap of the NGI plus the show we go to.
Yes,
so,
right.
So in St. Louis. So, anything else for the GCW corner?
No, you can put the door back up, I guess.
All right, put the door back on the hinges. Favorite things of the week, of course, this is where I give out the bronze, silver, and gold hot dogs. Shane gives out the bronze, silver, and gold handshakes, and we'll have Jolka do a 3 count here. Starting with the bronze handshake as always. What was the third best thing you saw this week?
Kenny Alfonso versus De La Suede.
All right. What about you, Jolka? What's number 3 for you?
Tiffany Stratton and her outfit.
Yeah.
I just think it looked really good.
It was. Yeah. It's sparkly yellow.
Mm-hmm.
How?
Like I said, violently yellow. For me, bronze, I think it's going to go to Seth and Bronson Reed.
Okay.
That's my number 3. If this wasn't a pay-per-view week, I might have thrown something on from the Journey to Anarchy that we saw, but it was a pay-per-view week, so I had to throw that in, and there was some big stuff on AEW too. So, what is the silver handshake?
Masha versus Zara.
Masha versus who's the other?
Zara, Zara.
Okay. And number 2 for you?
Bobby Lashley returning.
Yeah, that is awesome. For me, number 2 is going to be the Orange Cassidy promo. That was really cool. That was a really, really good promo. And Shane, the gold handshake this week goes to
Private Party versus the Bucks.
All right. What's number 1 for you, Jolka?
Not so much the match, but the handshake between Gunther and Cody Rhodes.
Oh, yeah. The Code of Honor. Did you see Cody talking this week about how he was a leader of Bullet Club?
Yes.
It just didn't happen. Just him just lying.
Yeah.
I mean, he taught Bryan Danielson how fun lying is, so I guess we should expect it. My gold goes to Swerve, Shelton, MVP, and Bobby Lashley for that match, plus the post-match segment, all of that. I'm just going to rope it all in together. And I guess Prince Nana as well should be in that. He played a part in that.
No Pride versus Bucks on your top 3 of the week.
It was really good. It just didn't quite make the top
It
3.
got like a 4 3/4, man.
Hey, I just didn't make my personal favorite stuff. I think it was really good. I wanted to put it in. I also wanted to put the Lycos Gym match that we saw. I wanted to put that in.
That's
I
fair.
love the Lycos Gym. So, moving on to the lightning round, our upcoming matches of the week. I'll tell you what we're going to see on TV this week, and you guys give me your excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10. For Raw, we're going to have a battle royal for number 1 contendership to Liv Morgan's women's title. I love a good battle royal.
Yeah. A 6.
9.
No, yeah. Yeah, and I love an old school number 1 contenders battle royal. It's a fun way to do it. The War Raiders versus the New Day.
8.
5.
Yeah, War Raiders this week won number 1 contendership to the Judgment Day's titles, so maybe see that match coming up soon. I kind of wanted the New Day to win that match. I thought it would have been more interesting if the New Day won the World Tag Titles mid split.
Right.
And then Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable. This might be the Ty Dillinger 10 of the week.
Yeah.
Dragon Lee versus Gable's a 10 for me.
Yeah, that's a good 10.
Yeah, 10 for me as well. And then for number 1 contendership to the World Heavyweight title, a 4-way between Seth Rollins, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Sheamus, and Damian Priest.
If Sheamus doesn't win, I'll be appalled. A 9.
7.
Yeah, I'm probably about 7 with you. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to win. I don't think he should be world champion yet, but I think he's going to get a shot.
I can see that.
And he's going to lose
He's a
pretty
huge
handedly.
star.
Yeah. He's over. On Dynamite, these ones I guess will be for Shane. Penelope Ford versus Jamie Hayter.
A 6.
Yeah, I agree.
Say, you said you wouldn't do that.
The Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Brian Keith, and Big Bill versus the conglomerations Kyle O'Reilly, Tomohiro Ishii, and Mark
I'm
Briscoe.
always here for that collaboration show, dude. That's a 10.
All right. Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher versus Ricochet and a mystery partner. It's probably Ospreay.
Mark Davis.
It'd be cool if it was Mark Davis. It'd be cool if it was Matt Sydal.
ZSJ randomly.
Ooh, what if it was?
Oh,
ZSJ?
you bald to chop.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I will. I'll go to 9.
9. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy versus Claudio Castagnoli and Pac.
10, but this shouldn't be a match. It should.
Just a beating. And
Yeah.
No match ever happens.
Yeah.
I like that. And then Malachi Black versus Adam Cole. Real NXT Black and Gold match. All right. On Collision, we're going to get AR Fox versus Nick Wayne.
6.
All right. And Top Flight versus the Outrunners for a spot in the tag title 4-way at Full Gear.
This is a youngest man out of 10.
Yeah. I want the Outrunners to win. The Outrunners to win.
I do too.
I think they will. I think they will.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be the Outrunners, FTR, and the Acclaimed probably.
Oh,
I
that'd be
want
the
it-
worst possible action.
I want it
That's
to
what I was
be. Let me see if I can find the.
Outrunners, not FTR, not Acclaimed. Because the Bucks are gone, we can't do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the second match is FTR versus the House of Black, and the third match is LFI versus the Acclaimed. So
The correct answer is
I want Outrunners, FTR, LFI. I think it'll be Outrunners, FTR, Acclaimed.
the Bucks leave, nothing changes. Is that what you're going with?
Yes.
This Top Flight FTR Acclaimed would be the worst possible choice. Which means it could happen.
No. What would you want? Who are the ones that you want to?
I want new tag teams to make that jump to the next level. So Outrunners, LFI, House of Black.
Yeah. I think also Top Flight probably has a chance at winning, but I don't know. But yeah, Outrunners, FTR. So who'd you say, sorry? Outrunners, LFI, House of Black? That's
Yeah.
what you want? Okay, that's fair. Match recommendation of the week. This match I don't think happened at the ECW arena, but because
Never mentioned Francine. She's going to be there.
she's going to be in attendance. This didn't happen. This happened actually in Villa Park, Illinois. But because NXT is going to be the ECW arena, I thought I'd recommend an ECW match I love, which is Taz versus Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka in a 3-way dance for the ECW title at Anarchy Rules 1999.
That's a good pick.
It's a great pick. So Shane approved. Go check out that match, Anarchy Rules 99. If you want more of us, we got our classic reviews. WrestleMania 23 should be out before you hear this, and then our next one coming up will be Unforgiven 2000. So everybody check those out, and don't forget to just enjoy wrestling.